What's up, you guys? My name is Hutch. I make videos, put them on the internet, and this is another episode of Camp Hutch. The last one I did was a couple months ago. I was trying to get Sark to come on, but he's having a baby, so I decided to downgrade a little bit and go to Jericho.
Yeah,
no,
man, you can't top Sark. So.
No, I'm kidding. I reached out to you a couple weeks ago, or this last week, and it occurred to me that you and I have known each other in this space for quite a while, and we've never done one of these kind of sit-down things. And this used to be one thing that I used to do quite a bit. And
I know, man. It was like the premiere series. Everybody was like, "Yo, dude, I got on Camp Hutch. Like, I'm gonna make it now."
You know what? I hated the name of it too. I've talked about this a bunch, but I hated the name of it, and I felt like I was stuck with it for a while. And then, like, after I had stopped doing it for a while, then I was like, you know what? That name's not too bad. So it's funny how these things turn around. Yeah. But you are a YouTuber, streamer. You've been doing this since 2009 or 10?
Yeah, 2009 for YouTube and 2010 for streaming.
Well, let's start at the beginning then. So, like, how old were you when you first got into, we'll call it internet media, so I don't have to say YouTubing and streaming.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got into internet media, and what was your goal at the time? Did you have any expectations going into it?
Yeah, I was a junior in high school. Like, I had just started junior year, so I guess I was 16, or late 15, early 16, and I didn't have any expectations because it was like, back when we started in 2009, 2008 era. That's like there wasn't anything to expect. Like there was no precedence. Like YouTube as a whole was so new, especially in the gaming space, and like learning how to upload footage, that if you had like 5,000 subs, you just were the biggest in the world. Like there was nobody else. So
yeah, that was a pretty decent following at the time.
Yeah, I just wanted to just do shit. I had a couple people that I was friends with online that I'd never met before, tell me like, oh, you should make a video about you just like ranting about stupid shit in games. And I was like, all right, dude, I will. Yeah. And I did.
It's crazy because when I look back on it, on getting into this whole thing, I think like, man, I was a fucking loser at the time. Like if I hadn't had found any kind of success back then, people would have called me a loser because I would have fit the textbook definition of a loser. But because this industry just kind of popped up out of nowhere, I don't think anybody was expecting it.
Yeah,
all of a sudden it was considered to be something that was like successful. But when you look at when you take the money out of it, then you're just some kind of degenerate. Like I was just sitting around teaching myself how to edit and playing nothing but Call of Duty 4 for every waking hour that I wasn't working at the time.
Right.
But I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I really, and in some ways I miss the simplicity of it back then. Just how much I loved playing the game and how much I loved learning how to edit and stuff.
Well, yeah, before it became like the job, before, Machinima even took on partnerships, before you could like upload to Machinima to make money, even, before that shit, I remember like there was no pressure to do anything. Like nobody was doing, like, I think it was like 2 videos a week was considered video spam. Like people are like, why do you upload so much? Like 2 a week? Like what the fuck?
I didn't get that, but I don't doubt that some other people got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but now you have like 8 videos a day channels. It's just like, Lord. But yeah, I can see that. Like, I don't know how my parents were, okay with me spending 12 plus hours a day in the basement during summer break, like not working, just doing
So
this.
How old, did you say how old you were at the time?
Yeah, I was 16.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I was prime working age. I mean, I did have a job. I was the mascot at Chick-fil-A. I was the dancing cow.
No, you weren't.
I was an entertainer from the start.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Corporate whore.
Well, yours is an interesting case because like a lot of people get into this racket with the hope or expectation that they'll just blow up immediately off of all they need is just one good viral video, right? And that'll be the ticket to longevity or success. Not longevity, it's just a ticket to success. And your success was more of a slow burn variety. Like you were grinding with, I remember you and Gold Glove and Ernest Lee and Juicedra. You guys had this crew of young, like you weren't kids, by that time you were probably about 18, so I don't want to patronize you or anything, 18. But you had this group of like really devoted internet media people that were just grinding their little dicks off every day.
I mean, you were at that time, you were at Machinima, right? You and Nanners were just like you guys got hired from YouTube to host shit, and that was like the pinnacle. It was just like, my God, these guys got a fucking job from this?
Yeah. I really kind of heavily pursued them, to be honest. I was writing emails in December of 2009 saying like, look, you know, like if my calculations are correct and if you're really offering this CPM, like wouldn't it make more sense for you guys just to hire me and, you know, I'll work for cheaper. Like I prioritized getting my foot in the door of the industry more than anything else. And it was less money at the time, but I think that for me, it really helped me get a foot in the door and to get acclimated to how this industry works, you know.
For sure.
So how would you say that your definition of success has changed over time? Like what was considered successful to you back then, and what do you consider successful now?
I love this question because, like, you're one of the few people that I can talk to about, like, the old days and not sound like a grandpa because you were right there with me. You know, I can do it with, like, Gold Glove and some other people. But
I'll be your grandpa. That's
right, yeah. Okay, fine, grandpa. But back when I started, I remember the first huge milestone that I hit, I'm not going to say it was like 100 subs, was when I hit 5,000 subs, one of my good friends, Pat, like, called me and he was like, dude, you're like a household name now, like 5,000 subs. And I was like, you're right. Like anybody who cares about this space probably has heard of me at this point. But no, I wasn't like that. But I mean, it was at that time, you know, success was just being, being happy with what you made. And then it grew once we got, you know, machinima partnerships. That was the success point. That was when you were made. That's when you had made it. And you were right. My success isn't like, you see people who are hitting 1 million subs in 2 years. There's a channel out there. A friend of mine, Jelly, has 1 billion views in 2 years. A billion views.
Wait, what is he making videos on?
Grand Theft Auto. You know, all those that whole community's insane. The custom games and stuff. But
that's crazy. That's
but like, currently right now. And, you know, each year subsequently since like 2013 has been my best year yet. And so it's been a long, steady grind. I mean, if anybody looks at my social blade, that'll give you a good view. It's just like, you can't ask for a less exponential graph. It's just 7 years of doing the same thing and changing shit up and being trying to be relevant.
Did you ever have a time where you thought like, man, maybe I need to not do this? Like maybe it's time to pack it in and get a, you know, quote unquote real job?
Yeah, so actually it was shortly after I had moved to the house in LA with T. Martin and Gold Glove, and we were actually there with Muzzafuzz at the time. And
really, I would have thought it would have been before that, because you guys seemed like you were having lots of fun at the time, on the outside at least.
Oh yeah, we were having tons of fun, but the issue was financial. I mean, I wasn't streaming heavily. It was not a reasonable portion of income, and at the time that was like 2 years after Machinima, and everybody was like, yo, that $2 CPM was nice, wasn't it? We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, that was stupid. So
that was a scary time for all of us, I think. You know, that was a big adjustment. And then it turns out, like, you know, 3 or 4 years later, it's not too much different now than it was back then. But, you know.
Yeah. No, it was like that stability, the only metric of stability you had.
Yeah.
Because you can't rely on views or anything. It was just, this is the CPM. I know what I get paid for this video. Yeah. That's gone. So now it's just like, fuck.
And now you have a lot more money being spent on advertisement. There's a lot more money in advertisement or advertising on YouTube just this year than there was the year before, and then it goes back every single year. It's just their budgets just keep getting bigger and bigger. So even if CPMs go down, there's other kind of streams of revenue that are coming in from other places. But
definitely. But that wasn't the case in 2012, 2013. Like
less so. Yeah.
The biggest deal I had at the time was, unfortunately, a partnership with Gamma Labs, which lasted as long as I was contractually obligated to. And so I was living in LA in a house that we were renting, split between 3 guys, and it was absurdly expensive. I mean, I was not netting like $40,000 a year. It was like $36,000 a year is what I was making off of YouTube, and like half of that was for rent. Yeah. So I was like, shit, I should probably use my network contacts and like branch out. So I talked to, you know, people at Razer, et cetera. And then I think Goldie at the time had like started grinding out DayZ streams for like 18 hours a day every day.
Yeah.
Goes, dude, you just
that was
need
around
to nut
2012.
up.
Yeah, that was right around the time that I had left, and then I'd come back at the end of the year, and I saw
you made a triumphant return. It was great.
You guys paved the way for me though, because I had never, you know, I hadn't operated under the banner of my own channel before. I mean, I had, but it wasn't, but not in terms of like for money. I was paid a salary for for doing the other job. So when I came back, there was a lot of uncertainty and fear because it was just so unfamiliar to me. But then watching all you guys find ways to succeed and thrive and excel made it a lot easier for me to come back and be like, okay, well, I'm not doing this alone. You know, other people paved the way for me.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there are casualties. Like every single new media or any single new type of job is going to have people who simply don't succeed along the way. And I'm very lucky to not be one of those. But you're right. Like, you took honestly the smart option, and I was shocked Machinima offered like Goldie a partnerships or like network management deal or whatever, and he's like 20 years old, and he turned it down because he's just like, I believe in my ability to do this. But I was like, I would have taken that job in a second. That's like sustainable, like a good salary, like something that you can live on and not feel like tomorrow you could fuck up and things are gone, copyright strike, whatever, you're gone. Like, that's it. So I mean, and now here we both are 7 years later, chugging away still.
Yeah, still finding new ways to have fun with it too. That's what's surprising me. Like, there's times when you kind of feel like, God, like every once in a while there'll be like a couple weeks or a month-long stretch where I'm not like bummed. I'm not like, I'm not angry or upset or anything like that. I'm just a little burnt, and I just want to sit on the couch and watch someone else try and be entertaining for a little bit, and then maybe tune off myself. And but for the most part, it's still really fun, and I still get to meet a lot of cool people. And but yeah, let's switch to a different topic here real quick before we switch up. You have been with your girl now publicly for quite a while. Yeah,
3 years actually, as of like a couple days ago.
Wow. What did you guys do for your anniversary?
We didn't actually do anything for our anniversary because we don't have a set anniversary date. Neither one of us remember when we officially started dating, because we were long distance. So it was just like, I don't know, we're gonna do something, probably go to like New York or something in the next month or so. But it's kind of nice having a.
Did you meet her in person first, or did you meet her online first?
I met her. Brennan and Goldie actually introduced her to me on the Sunday of PAX East in 2012, and that was or 2013, sorry, and that was, they had met at the Twitch party. I was underage, didn't go, and she's like, I play League of Legends. I was like, cool, man, I do too. Let's game. So that was the only time I saw her until she came over to my house in LA, because she's Canadian. Flew from her house to my house in LA. That was the first time I'd seen her in 3 months or whatever, and I was like, hi.
Did you guys talk kind of romantic to each other before she came, or or were you unclear? Like, were you like, am I gonna get friend zone here, or is she coming out here to like?
I mean, I was kick it. I was pretty confident that shit was going down, but it wasn't 100%. Like, I wasn't like, you're gonna come down here, we're gonna fuck like rap. Like, it wasn't like that. But I mean, I didn't bet on a non-sure move here.
When I was a younger man, I wouldn't say this is the case anymore, but I was not very good at picking up signals from girls. So much so that I had a time where a girl asked me to get in a jacuzzi bathtub with her. She takes off all her clothes before she gets in. I take off all my clothes just because I'm just like, all right, she's taking her clothes off. And then I'm in this bathtub naked with this girl, and I'm in my head thinking, does she want me to hit on her? Like, I still couldn't gather the courage.
Hair? Or
we just laid there and watched a movie. I think we pulled a TV in there. I think we watched the movie sideways. I don't know. I went the whole movie without making a move because I was pretty shy back then. Yeah. But what I wanted to ask you is, what are the benefits and drawbacks of having a relationship that's so public? It's like you guys are kind of sharing. You're sharing your individual lives, and then you're sharing your life as a couple, just sort of constantly on social media, which is fine. That's how the world is kind of evolving. You're not alone in that. You don't need to be a YouTuber to do that sort of thing. But you guys are a particularly kind of special case because you're both on this kind of top tier level of internet media. So I'm wondering, are there what are the benefits and what are the drawbacks?
Right. The drawbacks are pretty obvious. I mean, anybody can kind of guess them. Like, you are kind of exposed to all of the shit that that is going to be said about your significant other. But it's no different than the stuff you get daily. I mean, she gets it worse because she's a female, unfortunately, in the industry. But I mean, that like the public comments and stuff aside, there's not really a huge drawback. It's important to establish like a boundary, you know? We don't talk about problems or issues or anything remotely controversial on anywhere in public. Like that's just not appropriate. Like you deal with your private stuff in private. So what everybody sees is very much what we want them to see. It's just it's an unfiltered look at our happiness, but you're not going to see any of our, you know, downtimes. That's just inappropriate, I think. So,
see, when I go traveling with Esme, like sometimes we'll get in little squabbles, like especially if it's for like a week, you know, like a week straight. You are by that person's side, basically every moment of every day for a week straight. I don't care who you are, you're gonna get in some kind of an argument. Have you had the kind of situation where you guys maybe showed up to a gig or you guys had a scheduled stream, but you're in the middle of arguing about who, you know, she didn't do the fucking dishes last night and it really pisses you off because you've been asking her for the last 3 weeks to do it or something like that? Like, have you ever had to like put your shit to the side to fulfill some kind of either contractual obligation or like a stream schedule or something?
I can't remember this specific, but it's happened several times, like for recording videos. Like she'll be pissed at me, but we both know that, or like I'll be pissed at her, but we both know we need to record this, so we'll sit down and like even in between, like maybe there's a cut scene or something, and we're not gonna like use this. Like we'll still go back to fighting in the middle of this, but then you know you have that professionalism switch that you can turn on after a couple years of doing this. That you're just like, I can manage it, but like. It happens. Well,
that's good. You know, I imagine one of the benefits would also be that, you know, she understands the stresses and the hurdles that come with this sort of job. So you don't need to talk to her about it, but you could talk to her about it if you wanted to, and then she would be able to understand, and then also vice versa as far as she needing to vent to you or something. I imagine that would be, you know, be something that was really comforting in times if I was super stressed out about something.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that part, and especially it helps that, you know, she's going through a lot of the things that I went through when I first started out, so I'm able to help her with those. And she kicks ass. Like a lot of people assume because I've been in this position for a while where, you know, I've had some sort of relative success that I'm able to just feed her everything, and like she does her own thing 95% of the time. Like I don't have time nor the desire to manage her life and her business as well. So, I mean, even if you remove me from the equation, it's just awesome to have somebody else in the space that is capable of doing things on their own and then coming to me with like a nice different viewpoint. It's not just all me, you know, I'm getting different perspectives. So I really enjoy that part.
Well, she's got a real bubbly personality on her streams and her videos and stuff like that. So she, you know, she's obviously got a knack for it. Well, cool, man. I don't want this to go on for like 30 minutes or anything. although I am enjoying the conversation, I do want to end this by asking you what has been your most memorable experience so far.
Man,
good or bad?
Good or bad. I have to say that it was probably the race, you know, the one that me and you and everybody did most recently, because the whole scenario set up for it was just absurd. I mean, we got asked to play one of the biggest franchise games early in the studio that produces it, in their media room for a whole week with like security teams and everything during the launch party while we raised almost $500,000. And it was just like, you know, the head of the studio comes in, the head of Activision like everybody's just hanging out, and you're just like, I remember when I was thinking to myself, I'd see those shitty commercials, I'm like, I'd be a game tester, get to play games early, but like, you know, here you are actually being able to do it. That was pretty surreal. I think that's my favorite so far.
I went into that pretty blind. I had watched, you know, I had obviously watched part of the race streams before, and I remember watching your race when you did it for Titanfall too.
Oh god.
Which, man, that would have been such a grueling experience if you ask me. I like Titanfall, but I don't think it was great. Yeah, I have hopes for Titanfall 2 though. I think Titanfall 2 can be great.
Agreed.
Very easily could be great, but I remember watching you guys and thinking, "Fuck, man, I couldn't."
It was rough, man.
It was tough. But this year I went into. You guys asked me to do that, which was a really pleasant surprise, by the way, because like you reached out to me. I was like, "Yeah, that's such a good fit, man." I'm like, I still get excited about Call of Duty, even if I don't get excited maybe 4 months after launch. Right. But for that first little bit, Call of Duty has me pretty much every year, no matter how bad that Call of Duty is. I agree. It'll still have me at least. And when I showed up and I thought, okay, this is cool. I get to be a part of something, raise some money. And then these donations started coming in that was like $2,000, $5,000, $6,000. And everyone's energy level kind of we were all like amping each other up. So you could feel like the energy with the devs and with us and with everybody that was even in the room. Even like the security people were like having a good time. And yeah, that was awesome. A really, really fun experience, man. I was expecting to go down there and it to feel like kind of a grind, but I still wanted to do it. I still wanted to be a part of that. And then when I got there, it really didn't feel like work at all. Even when I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to come down, it wasn't rough. It really didn't bug me that much. No. So I'm appreciative that you guys invited me on board for that thing.
Yeah.
Are you doing it again this year? Fun.
Yeah, as long as we get some kinks sorted out, this year's gonna be fun, man. It's COD 4. It's like our game. It's perfect.
Whoa. Wait a second. Are you doing it for COD 4 or are you doing it for Infinite Warfare?
It depends. They've got the prestige system in COD 4. We've kind of agreed that the whole race thing, went out the window after the first year. So maybe we'll just play what you want to play.
Oh man,
we'll see.
Anyways, well, cool. It was good to talk to you, man, and I'm happy you came on and shared your experience with us.
Thanks for having me again.
Have yourself a good weekend. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later, buddy.